Good morning, or good afternoon, or good night, depending on when you're watching this. Did you know that over 31 million Americans skip breakfast every single day? That's right, according to recent surveys, a massive chunk of the population starts the day without so much as a spoonful of cereal. For years we've been told that a healthy breakfast is the most important meal of the day, that skipping it leads to weight gain, poor health, and a host of other disastrous outcomes. But is that really true? In this video, we're going to dive headfirst into the great breakfast debate, why healthy breakfast may not matter as much as you've been led to believe. I know, some of you are already clutching your oatmeal bowls in disbelief. But stick with me because the science behind breakfast is a lot more complicated than most people realize. We'll explore common misconceptions, examine studies that challenge the breakfast gospel, and come to a surprising conclusion about whether that morning meal is truly indispensable for everyone. If you've ever felt guilty for skipping breakfast, or if you've forced down a bowl of cereal despite not feeling hungry, this video might just set you free. Let's get started. The idea that breakfast is crucial for health has been around for decades. Some say centuries. We've heard time and time again that eating within an hour of waking up kickstarts our metabolism, prevents overeating later in the day, and keeps our energy levels high. But on the other hand, we see an increasing number of people, celebrities, athletes, and everyday folks, who swear by intermittent fasting or a skip breakfast lifestyle and still claim they're thriving. So, which is it? Is breakfast the holy grail of nutrition or just another meal option? The truth is, the science isn't as black and white as many breakfast evangelists would have you believe. Multiple research studies have pointed out that the benefits of breakfast are highly context-dependent, meaning that your lifestyle, body type, and personal preferences can all influence whether that morning meal helps or hinders you. It's time to sort out the hype from the evidence and see what experts actually say about skipping breakfast. Spoiler alert, it's not the nutritional Armageddon you've been warned about. Let's talk about some of the biggest misconceptions surrounding breakfast. Skipping breakfast automatically causes weight gain. We've heard this one a million times, right? The logic goes that if you skip breakfast, you'll be so ravenous by lunchtime that you'll devour anything in sight, resulting in excess calories. But research paints a more nuanced picture. Some folks who skip breakfast do compensate by eating more later, but many actually end up consuming fewer daily calories overall, especially if they're listening to their hunger signals and not just relying on autopilot eating. Breakfast is essential for brain function. There's a long-standing belief that children and adults alike can't focus without a morning meal. While it's true that some people perform better after eating, others experience no difference in cognitive function. Factors like sleep quality, total daily nutrient intake, and hydration might be more influential than whether you ate at 7 a.m. Everyone must eat breakfast for a revved-up metabolism. Another classic: skipping breakfast slows your metabolism to a crawl, causing weight gain. But studies examining intermittent fasting show that metabolic slowdown isn't nearly as drastic as once feared. In fact, some intermittent fasters report better energy levels and no metabolic damage, provided they eat enough nutritious food in their overall day. The bottom line? Breakfast might help some people maintain a healthy weight and strong concentration, but it's not a one-size-fits-all universal law. So, what does the research say? Let's look at a couple of noteworthy studies. The Bath Breakfast Project. Conducted in the UK, this study explored how eating or skipping breakfast impacted weight and metabolic health. Participants were divided into breakfast and no breakfast groups for several weeks. Interestingly, those who skipped breakfast didn't necessarily gain weight or show a reduced metabolic rate. Instead, results suggested that total daily energy intake and activity levels were far more critical than just breakfast consumption. American Journal of Clinical Nutrition Review. A meta-analysis published a few years ago examined multiple trials on breakfast and weight management. Their conclusion? There's no strong evidence to support the notion that skipping breakfast automatically causes weight gain. Instead, they found that weight outcomes depend on the individual's entire day total calorie balance, nutrient quality, and physical activity. Expert opinions. Many nutritionists and dietitians like Dr. Monique Tello from Harvard Medical School emphasize that what you eat can matter more than when you eat it. That means a balanced approach, focusing on protein, fiber, and healthy fats, can benefit people who prefer a morning meal, while those who skip it can still maintain good health by distributing nutrients throughout the rest of the day. The consensus among many experts is that you don't have to force yourself to eat breakfast if you're not hungry. The concept of one breakfast to rule them all just doesn't hold up under scrutiny. If your body naturally wants to break its fast at noon, that might be perfectly fine as long as your overall diet is solid. Before you toss your cereal boxes out the window, let's be fair. Some people do benefit from having breakfast. For instance, athletes or morning exercisers. If you're someone who hits the gym or the running trails early, fueling up with a light breakfast can give you the energy boost you need. Working out on an empty stomach can be fine for certain endurance or fasted cardio sessions, but many folks find a small snack helps stabilize blood sugar and improves performance. Those with specific medical conditions, individuals with diabetes or hypoglycemia, might need to manage blood sugar levels carefully. In such cases, a breakfast containing protein and complex carbs can prevent dangerous drops in blood glucose. Children and teens' growing bodies often need regular nutrition. While some kids might be okay skipping breakfast, others do better with a balanced morning meal, especially if they have long stretches between mealtimes at school. So yes, for some folks, breakfast is absolutely beneficial. But for others, maybe you wake up not hungry, maybe your schedule doesn't allow it, or maybe you feel better eating later, skipping breakfast can be perfectly normal and healthy. Let's delve deeper into why breakfast might not matter for everyone. Biological differences. Each person's metabolism and hormone cycle can differ. Some people have higher morning cortisol levels, making them less hungry when they wake up. Others feel ravenous at sunrise. There's no universal right or wrong, just different personal rhythms. Eating patterns over 24 hours. Ultimately, body composition and weight management hinge on the balance of calories in versus calories out over an entire day or week, not just a single meal. If skipping breakfast helps you naturally reduce overall calorie intake, without binging later, then it can be a successful strategy for maintaining or losing weight. Lifestyle factors. Stress levels, work schedules, and sleep quality all play a role in how hungry you feel at various times of the day. Some intermittent fasters find that skipping breakfast fits their routine better, while shift workers might eat a meal at what society calls breakfast time but is really their lunchtime. The bottom line? There is no one-size-fits-all rule. If you're not hungry in the morning, don't feel obligated to choke down a bowl of bran flakes out of guilt. Focus on eating well when you are hungry. Many people find they thrive physically and mentally without a traditional breakfast, and that's perfectly okay. Now, here's a surprising insight that challenges conventional wisdom. Some people who skip breakfast end up more satisfied during lunch and dinner, naturally regulating their portions without feeling deprived. This runs counter to the old breakfast skippers become insatiable monsters by noon narrative. Studies show that for certain individuals, the freedom to skip breakfast can enhance mindful eating later in the day. When they finally break their fast, they do so intentionally, choosing nutrient-dense foods and listening more closely to hunger cues. This can lead to better portion control and lower overall caloric intake without the dreaded hangry meltdown. Of course, if skipping breakfast leads you to devour a triple cheeseburger and fries at noon, that's a different story. The key is balance. Whether you eat breakfast or not, your total day's intake should be balanced with enough protein, fiber, and healthy fats to keep you satiated. If skipping breakfast actually helps you achieve that balance, then go for it. It's not sacrilegious, despite what the breakfast is, King Crowd might claim. Let's wrap up our main points. Surprising statistic: over 31 million Americans skip breakfast daily. So if you're one of them, you're not alone, and you're not automatically doomed. The debate rages on. While breakfast has been hailed as the most important meal, research says it's not a universal necessity. Misconceptions. Skipping breakfast doesn't necessarily cause weight gain or cognitive decline. It's far more important to look at total daily habits. Studies and expert opinions large-scale research indicates that people can maintain or lose weight and stay healthy without a morning meal, provided their overall diet is balanced. Who might benefit? Certain groups like athletes and those with specific medical needs may do better with breakfast, but that doesn't make it mandatory for everyone. Personalization is key. Biological differences, lifestyle factors, and eating patterns all matter. Some thrive with breakfast, others thrive without it. A surprising conclusion: skipping breakfast can sometimes lead to better portion control and more mindful eating later in the day, helping with weight management and overall satisfaction. So there you have it. Breakfast doesn't have to be the be-all and end-all of a healthy diet. For some, it's great, for others, it's optional. Listen to your body, figure out what works for you, and don't feel guilty if your mornings are more coffee than cereal. And that's it for today's deep dive into why healthy breakfast doesn't matter, at least not for everyone. I hope this video helped clear up some of the confusion around the so-called most important meal of the day. Whether you love a hearty breakfast or prefer intermittent fasting, the key is to find a routine that fits your body and lifestyle. If you found this information surprising, enlightening, or just plain entertaining, do me a favor. Smash that like button right now. It really helps the channel grow and lets me know you're enjoying this kind of content. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe for more evidence-based nutrition tips, fitness insights, and the occasional corny joke. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, your health journey is about you. Breakfast or no breakfast, keep it balanced, keep it real, and I'll see you in the next video.